cut.
All right. I love this. Isn't this fun?
This is fun.
Oh, this is a good time. All right. We're going to get started here in a second for those that are watching us live. Basically, what we'll do is we're going to go a typical show.
We're doing it.
We're going to take a break in the middle. Typically, it's 2 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. And from there, we just go. And then we take the audio home and we cut it up and make it real pretty, like cut out all of this rigmarole.
You're cutting me out.
No. And then we launch it on the podcast. And recording this on Tuesday, the plan would be to have this. I'm not going to overpromise and undercommit or something like that. I am going to say by Friday.
Sounds good.
End of business day. I want to pad myself a little bit there. All right. And without further ado, I think it's time to get started.
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. 3, 2. Welcome to the After 2 Beers podcast. I'm Dutch Dalton, joined as always by Kimmy Gibbler.
That's me.
Gibbler, we are back in the East Studio, thanks to our buddy Kevin Shook, and recording our podcast again. It's great to be back.
It is. I almost forgot what the heck we were doing.
Yeah, we've always made these false commitments that we're going to keep doing these things each week, and it just doesn't happen like that.
Life happens, man.
It does happen. So we were on vacation. We're going to talk about that coming up here in a second.
Okay.
One specific aspect to our vacation that I want to know if the listener, the viewer, if how they react to certain things.
I think I know what we're talking about.
Oh, do you?
Yep,
I don't know. We'll see.
I do recall.
All right. No. Everything was great. I thought it was a great trip. Oh, I know what one you're talking about. We'll talk about that one too. Actually, you know what? We will talk about that one too. I forgot about that one. Then we're gonna have your what do we call them? The giblets.
The giblets.
Your little fun facts.
Yeah.
And no history tonight. It's funny. Every time I talk to somebody that watches the show or listens to the show, they always say, "Oh, I love when you guys do the stories."
The stories are great.
Yeah, and no one's ever like, "Man, I tune in for the history." Now, most people are like, "Yeah, I dig the history. It's cool." And I'm like, "Well, you know what? That's the hardest one to do." So this is how you maximize your profit. Right? I'm going to take less time writing history and just throwing together
more time bullshitting together.
And it's so much easier, and I can make sure that we produce more shows than once a month.
I love it.
We still should target once a week, and I don't know. It's like slamming my hand in a car door over and over and over every time we miss it. Anyway, all right, we're gonna talk about your giblets.
Okay.
And then in the news, we have a real life Maury Povich. This is crazy.
Is it Richmond based?
No.
Okay,
I believe it was in Georgia, but we'll find out for sure. But it's 2 guys showed up to pick up their child at school. But it was the same kid. Oh. So which one's the dad? We're going to talk about that. A woman attacks the police with a swarm of bees.
Bees everywhere. Save yourselves.
What kind of superhero controls bees? We're going to talk about that. And believe it or not, a cosplayer was put in the friend zone, and it caused an explosive reaction. Explosion. Yeah, there's going to be explosions. All right. If you're just tuning into the show, basically what we do, Gibbler and I, we sit around, we have a couple drinks, hence the name After 2 Beers, and then we just get into discussion.
That's right.
And we talk about things that are going on, current events, and we also bring you some of the most interesting stories that you will not hear on the 6 p.m. news if you turn into your local television station. We do that weekly. If you get a chance, make sure to check out our webpage. It's after2beers.com. That's the number 2. There's a link on there if you want to help us out, throw us a tip, go to the old Patreon button. You can help us with that. You can also find links to past episodes, some of our social media pages and things that we try to stay active on. You know, we've been doing this for 5 years, and I catch us getting lazier and lazier. And so I will make sure we do a better job on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And make sure that if you do like and listen, that you share it. Share it with your friends. Share it with your foes. I don't care.
Yeah, like I said, we don't release these things as regularly as we should. I'm so impressed that I got that word out right. And but we've got like 130 of them that have been saved. So
Yeah, and if there's one that you guys liked from the past, let us know.
yeah, I'm curious. And that's the other thing. In addition to sharing us with your friends and family, make sure that if you're watching the show, feel free to comment. We can't see the comments yet, but I'm sure Kevin will get that figured out. And also, if you send us comments or messages on our Facebook page or on our webpage, we'll be sure to get back to you on those.
I like it.
And let me know if you like the history. If you like the history, we'll keep doing it. All right. So, Gibbler, I mentioned I wanted to talk to you about our vacation.
Yes, I was there.
Yeah, you were there. There were 6 couples. I'm going to set the scene for everybody. There was 6 couples, and it was at, just south of Myrtle Beach. It is the very cliche Midwest, fall break kind of vacation where you go to a beach. But 2 things jumped up that I thought immediately we could discuss on this show.
Okay.
And we can discuss openly about our feelings on this thing.
Okay.
So let's bring up the first one. I'm going to put my headphones on just in case Kevin has something he wants to add to this too as well. Or JP's in there and AJ. So we went to a restaurant. There was a bunch of us, and they told us the wait was going to be 45 minutes. Okay? Mm-hmm. And so a few of us decide to go down just a few doors down to another restaurant to get a beer. And in doing so, we also they were a barbecue joint, and we ordered a small sampling of their...
Oh, it was not a small sampling.
No, that's what I ordered,
was there.
though.
Not saying we did.
No. And I'm trying to say is this isn't the fanciest of locations. That's all I'm trying to do.
Right.
So at that point, they bring us in. We're ordering drinks. We're ordering food there. And I decide, let's pass around this buy local barbecue joint's food just as a sampler because we'd already paid for it. And boy, the looks I got.
I don't know. Like I've worked at establishments, and it's like it's almost rude when you bring food in.
Is it?
Like if you have a kid that, or like somebody that has allergies, but normally they like go, hey, I apologize. I brought something in, yada, yada, yada. Okay, fantastic. But they're not like sending around a sampling of brisket.
Now, as a server, why would that make you angry?
Because I'm not making money off the food that you're eating.
Yeah, but you're making really the money off the alcohol I'm drinking, though, right?
No, not necessarily.
Yeah. So no.
You make more money off of food as a percentage than you do on beverage.
But you mean by the tip?
Yeah.
I don't tip that way. I tip 20% across the board.
Right, but your drink is probably $3, whereas your meal is going to be $11.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I was looking at the profit for the establishment, not necessarily the server.
I don't own it.
I get that. Yeah, you're like, bring the food in. I don't give 2 shits. Just buy the booze. To your point, you'd rather them eat, not drink. Then you don't have to worry about drinks all night.
I mean, I don't care. Like,
unless it makes them tip
I'd
bigger.
like people to stay and have fun and keep adding up their bill.
Yeah.
But
Well, this is definitely a discussion I'd love to hear some of the listeners or viewers pipe in about, which is, what's your policy? Like,
I'm bringing alternate food
well,
in.
it wasn't on purpose, first of all. And it wasn't like I brought in a pizza and started handing out slices. Literally, it was a single serving of brisket.
Right.
But, geez, you'd have thought I brought a dirty diaper in and just threw it against the wall the way people were looking at me. Only in my group. Nobody else said anything.
It's like they've never heard of Hoosier Hospitality.
Right. Oh, man.
I would have been all about it.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. At first, I was like, dude, that's rude.
Oh, it's not
But
rude.
then I actually got a sampling of the
brisket.
brisket, and it was fantastic. And I was like, is it too late to leave and go down the street?
Oh, man.
Man, we should have.
Yeah. That food sucked. That's the other part of it. I'm not going to name the establishment, but it was horrible.
I think several people got BGs from it, too.
Oh, man. Well, I'm in my 40s. I get BGs from ice water, so I can't say anything about that. Now, here's the second thing that came up on our trip, and I want to talk about this because I'd love to get a woman's opinion on this, and we've got both men and women in the studio there. I want to hear their thoughts on this as well, and it's couples photos. So one of the couples that we were there, we were really celebrating their marriage. They got married there 5 years ago, and we were down there with them. We go every year as our family. And they'll talk to me about this podcast probably in about 4 months. I think that's how long it takes Trisha to catch up to where we're at in the podcast cycle. But one of the things that she organized, which was really cool, was it was a gift for her husband, Todd, which was a professional photo shoot there on the beach.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah, and then she was nice enough to spend the time that the photographer had with them on us as well, all the other couples. So everybody that went got to get their picture taken and things like that. And I'm like, that's really nice. But then as I'm sitting there, my mind works differently than others. And so I start thinking, well, this is really kind of odd if you think about it. First of all, when you go to the beach, any other time but for photographs, you try to wear the most comfortable clothes that you have, okay? Because you hate the sand. But for pictures, we dress up real fancy
And then sit in the sand.
and then sit and jump in the water and all this kind of stuff that your mom would yell about. Get out of you're in your Sunday clothes, get out of the water. What are you doing? That's how I felt. And it just, I feel like it gives a false impression of the time period. And I'm not hating on the fact that people look at these things and are like, I know the Daltons, they don't frolic on the beach, especially dressed. Chris is not wearing a t-shirt, so this is clearly this isn't reality. But I got to think there's generations from now, they're going to look back and go, well, apparently my in-law or my great granddad lived on a beach. And they must have had really nice clothes because look at the stuff they went to the beach in. It's like wearing a tuxedo and getting your picture in a pasture.
Let's do that now.
I think so. Why aren't we doing that?
I'm freaking in.
So let me ask. So what is your opinion on couples photos?
You know what? I really loved it. I loved that she shared and let us all do it too.
Yeah. I agree with that.
But I don't know.
I'm talking about in the overall, because here's where so many photos are taken now, right? And it doesn't matter if it's couples photos, if it's senior pictures, and they're things that are places that no one ever really goes, right? So follow me through this process. We're by the ocean in these nice clothes that we would never really ever wear by the ocean in those clothes. That's one. You give me that one, right?
Yeah, typically when I'm on the beach, I'm not wearing a jean jacket.
How often do you and your family walk hand in hand down railroad tracks?
We're not all like...
Right? You make your family look like bums. From now on, every one of those pictures should have a stick.
A stick with the bandana.
Right. They make no sense. Another one is everyone is by brick walls now. Most people's houses I don't know anyone that has a brick wall in their house, which would be badass.
They should, but...
Right?
I mean, I'd love it, but
Yes.
I don't.
So what I was thinking is I want to see professional photos taken.
Well, we're sitting on our couch.
Yes!
In a recliner with our slippers on.
And I took exactly. I said, here are my ancestors sitting on the couch playing Candy Crush.
Oh my gosh.
Right? But another one that would be very viable for this time period would be, here are my ancestors sitting on the toilet playing Candy Crush. I mean, it would be the most realistic photo.
I mean, you could catch that on Snapchat.
And then the last photo that would be very synonymous to this time period would be, here are my ancestors that are at a bar drinking beer and complaining about people being on their phone too much. Then another one later while they're all playing Candy Crush on the same table. Talking about my days, we didn't use the phone so much. My mom's the worst about it. She won't watch the show, so I can say it. She's on her phone all the time.
And
All
so
the
you
time.
don't get to live the moment.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what part of people are struggling with. Maybe that's part of it, right? Maybe it has nothing to do with the fact that you're bored as shit by the people you're with. It's just you're just trying to keep your mind busy the whole time. That phone is making the entire generation ADD.
Oh yeah, if you weren't
Yeah.
before, you are now.
Oh, and so introverted. This generation will go down as the most introverted generation of all time.
I mean, just for instance, if you were to try to change your cell phone plan or your internet plan, are you going to go into the store to do it, or are you going to try to do it online? And if you can't do it online, you'll probably mess with it for a good hour online
Oh, I'm
before
going
you
to
actually call.
I'm going to call.
Are you going to call?
I call it, but see, I'm a salesman. And so for me, I look at it as it is so much faster to make
It
a quick
is so
phone
much
call.
faster as long as there's not a long hold.
Well, even then, I just throw it on mute, turn it on the speakerphone, and just, go back to what I was doing.
There you go.
I'd love to get people's input on
No,
this,
I
too.
am that way too, but I'm telling you that most people, especially I'd say even 5 to 10 years younger than us, they will work for an hour to try to change something online before they try to call somebody or go in and visit somebody.
Oh, you're not.
Because it's confrontation.
That wasn't
it's
even
not even
English.
confrontation, but
I'm
like
agreeing with you.
it's having to have an actual live conversation.
Yes. All right. So anyway, if people are listening, and that sounded really rude to you, and I apologize.
Hey Kim, we're done listening to you, so let's come on. Okay, and next.
You're still going on about the kids? Oh, you've officially hit Karen status. I'd love to get other people's opinions on this. AJ, JP, you were there for couples photos. What do you think? You a fan? Yeah? What about of the scene? Where would be a scene that you would want to do a photo of?
Us us being like,
Are you hearing that?
yeah, I don't know what that was.
It must be coming from in there.
It's probably JP. He probably has his phone on.
We're
Let's be
picking-
honest.
It's the NSA. They're like, man, this is the most boring podcast.
Let's add some flavor.
Oh, man. Anyway.
Anyway, it would be me and JP playing air hockey and like being battle royale.
Battle Royale.
Oh yeah,
You guys wrestle?
We're both so competitive. Like,
You wrestle?
no, we're not wrestling, but we're like face to face, cursing each other, playing air
I'm
hockey.
like, that's kind of a cool fetish.
No,
You know,
no,
like one of you is the
no.
bad
He
guy.
knows
and-
better. I've got a
Right?
lot of leg strength.
I thought that'd be kind of, now I want to kind of like explore that with AJ. I'm like, like Miss Elizabeth and the Macho Man.
I mean, I'm not saying, but I did get me some
Oh.
WrestleMania like costume.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that's, I don't want to hear anymore.
Okay.
And neither do the listeners. Oh, anyway, now the couple's photos, I think they're really cool. It's, they were so fun. One of the things, and I will say this about whether it's a photographer you choose by accident or by recommendation, but the photographer makes a lot of it.
Yes.
And the lady that took the photos with us in Myrtle Beach, she was phenomenal and made it fun. And I think, there's a lot of respect that goes to photographers. Now, I didn't know that. AJ taught me this. Do you know you're supposed to tip the photographer when you're done?
I don't know that I've dealt with photographers that often to know that.
I didn't either. I tipped the
Okay.
lady in Myrtle Beach.
There you go.
And she's like, thank God one of you has some manners.
I didn't know that
I'm
was
just
like
kidding.
something that
She
you're
didn't say
supposed to do.
Oh,
All hail.
man. Anyway, did we freeze?
I believe so.
Down below, we're good.
Yeah, that's in the, we froze again, didn't we?
It's actually just that screen.
Okay.
Is the audio still good?
Yeah, the audio clips are good.
Okay.
All right. Well, you know what? We're just going to keep going
Keep rolling.
so I can turn
Uh-oh.
this into the podcast. But Oh,
Yep.
there it is.
Yep.
That was the feedback I was getting.
We're good.
Did you hear
was
that?
us.
Yeah, it was like weird. It's like
was like
listening to each other from
Halloween
another
and such.
dimension. It's crazy. Uh-oh. Are we wanting to stop and then restart?
We're good. Just don't pay attention to that top screen.
All right.
Okay. I
Appreciate
was going to say we could do the pause for the cause if need be, or
That's what I was thinking.
It's up to you guys.
If people are viewing us right now, I'm not really worried about the audio because I can cut all this to make it look good or sound good. But is the video working on your end now? Can they see us moving?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You're live. Everything's
Okay.
playing live.
All right.
It's
It's
just on the device.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
cool. Well, we don't need to look at that one anyway.
whatever.
All right. So Gibbler,
Yes.
now that I have run the course on couples photos, the whole concept's funny to me that, you get dressed up and then go places that are really cool looking, but make no sense to the
But you know what? They were so gorgeous.
Well, they are
They really
gorgeous.
were. Now, I do have to say, I don't know that the pictures that I'm going to frame in our house are like of me and JP kissing. I don't know that those are going to be the pictures that I frame.
Oh my God, those pictures.
I mean, they were awesome, but
Oh, there was the one where she told me to grab her by the, like by the back of the head. And I'm thinking, who likes these kinds of pictures? People that hang giant forks and spoons on their plywood walls. You know what I mean?
why are you making fun of my forks and spoons, asshole?
Do you have giant forks and spoons?
I'm joking.
Oh,
I
you know
really
what I'm
don't.
talking about,
I don't.
though.
but-
She has everything else for that kid.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
no, in place there is a big six wing. I don't know what you're talking about. Whatever.
Did you get so like every couple has to get at least 2 or 3 photos where there's like enough gap you can cut them out when you break up, and that way you can repurpose your photo on Bumble
So
or
that's
Tinder.
why they
or-
put JP on the other end of
right,
it.
you got to have some of them.
Sorry, baby.
You don't want to hire a
Sorry,
photographer
honey.
again.
I wondered why Amanda was like, why don't Chris sit in the truck for these pictures? But I'm like, everybody else is on the beach.
Everybody else was playing rock, paper, scissors on who gets to stay.
Oh, man. All right. Well, before we move on to our news stories that are coming up, we talked about those earlier. We're going to jump into my new favorite segment of the show, and that's Gibbler's Giblets.
Gibbler's Giblets. I'm not gonna lie. It was a little last minute this week.
Well,
I've been
that's
busy.
every show I put together.
I know.
So don't
I
worry
know.
about it.
So if they're terrible, I apologize, but we're gonna roll with it.
Let's do it.
Okay. So Dolly Parton. I mean, we were just down by Dollywood.
Oh, I
and
love
everything
Dolly
else,
Parton.
Right?
How do you not love Dolly Parton?
Oh, she's my spirit
I'd
animal.
vote for her for president right now.
Right? But did you know that she once lost a Dolly Parton look-alike contest?
Really?
Yeah. So Dolly Parton once entered a celebrity look-alike contest as herself and lost. The contest was held in a San Francisco club. In order to somewhat disguise herself, Parton exaggerated her features with makeup. However, she got the least applause of all contestants and ultimately lost to a drag queen.
Oh, San Francisco. That's freaking awesome.
But she got the least applause.
Oh, my
Can you imagine
gosh.
being Dolly Parton and losing it looking like you?
I think Charlie Chaplin had the exact same thing happen.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I think he finished third.
Man.
Oh, man, that's awesome, though. I bet you she was cool with it.
I'm sure she was. She's pretty cool.
That or she was like, what the fuck?
Bitch, let me show you how to do the makeup.
All right. That's a good one.
All right. So, you know how we come across all of these weird world records and different things, right? So I came across this one on the Fun Facts research.
Okay.
Okay. In September 2007, a guy named Kevin Shelley broke 46 wooden toilet seats with his head in 1 minute to create a world record.
Oh, man.
Like, what would make you decide to, start banging your head against some wooden toilet seats? Do you think it would just, happen on accident one night?
I guaranteed. This was a guy
a
that
sneeze
was...
or a
sneeze.
getting sick
This
and
was
busted
puking.
it. Yeah, and he's like, Well, shit, that happened quickly. It didn't hurt.
There's so many fascinating things about this story. There are so many things I want to discuss.
We want to know where Kevin Shelley lives.
Well, first of
we
all,
need to interview him.
When was the last time you took a shat on a wooden toilet seat?
Oh man, and it depends on the age of said toilet seat too. Have you ever like got your butt cheek pinched?
No, no.
No, like on the plastic ones, you know what I'm talking about, those old-timey plastic
Oh,
ones.
my grandma used to have the one with it was like a cushion.
It was like a cushion. It almost like did this. Anytime that you sat, and I was like, "Well, thank you, thank you, toilet, for telling me how much I weigh."
And if you got up too long, it would make that suction noise. And you know you had like the biggest butt hickey.
And God forbid it had like a slit in it or something, like a tear.
Oh, man.
Oh man.
Oh, you know, if anyone listens to this show that wasn't born before 1990, they would understand. But like I remember, my grandmother had like the cover.
The big furry cover.
Yeah, fur. Whose idea is it to put fur on top of a toilet?
I mean, I could
seat?
tell a pretty bad story about my cousin and the
when
furry toilet seat.
And when I tell people fur, the hair was this long.
Oh man.
Oh my God! It looked like somebody had killed a raccoon and then just glued it to the top of a toilet.
It was
And
bad.
then they had a matching floor rug.
That was just a pee collector.
Yeah, but it was it looks like a bib for a toilet,
Yes.
but
a
it's
big
also
furry toilet bib.
yeah, in this giant hair. So anyway, we're ADD's kicking in. So at some point he hits his head on a toilet, probably throwing up. Hopefully not to get a drink. And he cracks his head open or whatever, and he thinks to himself,
I'm
pretty
probably
good
break
at
some
this.
records.
and then the fact that there's other people that have done it. So what's the record?
46 wooden toilet seats in 1 minute.
Oh my God.
That's almost a seat per second.
Ugh.
Like maybe a little small. Okay.
I want to see the video of it.
I do
wanna
too.
I want to see where they have wooden toilet seats just lined up.
And just like, maybe looking like Woody Woodpecker out there.
Oh, I bet it's what it looks like at like the backstage of Hee Haw. It's a bunch of All right, that was a good one.
All right, next one. Okay, so you know how every state has like their slogans, right?
Yes.
Do you know what Nebraska's is?
No.
Do you know anything good that comes from Nebraska?
Corn?
I don't even know what the hell comes from Nebraska. And I'm just asking you. Shit.
Oh. Well, the World Series of Baseball, that's pretty good.
So, okay, Nebraska's official state slogan is Nebraska. Honestly, it's not for everyone.
Oh my.
Like, seriously. They're like, we know we suck. It's not for everyone. We're
Oh
fine.
man, that's like the worst thing to say during a romantic encounter too.
Hey,
It's not for everyone.
it's not for everyone.
What a horrible tattoo to have like
Right above your crotchal region.
it's not for everyone. Oh, that's what's Indiana's? There's more than corn?
Probably. Shit, I don't.
That or was that just the what was the theme park? There's more than corn in Indiana. At the Super Sensational Indiana Beach.
Holiday World.
Holiday World.
World.
I just combined
And
two
Santa Claus. Okay.
Oh, you know what? I want to make sure we call out Andy Floyd, one of our Patreon buddies, but he's commenting on the show.
Oh, he did call
Yes.
out Charlie Chaplin too.
And he's a fan of Giblin's Giblets. Giblin
Yes.
the Giblets. Giblin,
Well,
Giblin
thank
the
you,
Giblets.
Andy.
But all right, I combined. Will you guys sing it in there? Do you guys know the theme song? I want to hear it. AJ, go ahead. No.
She's shaking her head no.
No?
She said
Do
no.
you know it,
No.
Kevin?
Negative.
All right. Well, too bad for our listeners. All right. What's your
Okay.
third one?
All right. Oh gosh. Man, I don't know. Okay.
They're all going to be fine.
They're all gonna be fine. They're
gonna be
It's
fine.
fine. It's fine. It's fine.
They're all going to laugh
Okay.
at you.
So have you ever put like a resume together and you're like, just what are my qualifications, right?
Yeah.
So did you know that Japan is facing a ninja shortage?
There's a job for that?
There's a high demand for ninja shows, but it is a dying tradition, and companies have trouble finding properly trained ninjas.
That's incredible. They should come here. I swear to you, I'm not making this up. Last night, AJ and I are taking a drive through Richmond, and we see a young gentleman walking a lady home. I'm assuming, just being very gentlemanly like. It's Halloween. And he's got a full samurai sword just right on his...
Shut up.
Oh, Donatello. I'm telling you. Or was that Leonardo?
I don't know.
But he's got...
Was he carrying a Little Caesar's pizza?
Oh, it was one of those... AJ was looking at it going, when was the last time you saw somebody wearing a samurai sword just walking down
When
the
was
street?
the last time you walked her into the house with a samurai sword? Jeez.
I can't say that. Well, sorry.
Come on. I mean, bruh.
All I know is that guy should keep that girl.
Right?
Because any woman, there's not a lot of women that are into guys who are into samurai swords.
But you know what? He's going to make sure he's a protector.
No, I feel like that's a really niche group.
Now, do you remember,
I feel like Batman's about to fly up here.
Right?
What's that?
I feel like our Batman's about to fly up here.
I have you.
And that guy ain't flying for nothing. So there's a ninja shortage.
There's a ninja shortage. So the first thing that I could remember when I read this, I was going, do you remember watching that video of that guy that goes, don't you go ninja, nobody don't need ninja.
It's so good. It's so good, right?
And he was like using a tobacco thing for a Judy star.
A Judy star.
That's the only thing I could think of.
Oh, I love it. All right, you got one more?
Oh gosh, I've got multiple more.
Well,
but
let's do
see
two
what's-
more then.
What's gonna be the best one? This one's kind of fun.
All
You
right.
play video games, right?
I love video games.
You do love some video games.
Love me some video
Okay,
games.
so there were 2 PlayStation 1 games, FIFA 2001
Ooh, soccer. Ugh.
and Gran Turismo 2.
I've had Gran Turismo.
Have
Multiple.
scratch and sniff discs.
What?
Swear. So the FIFA 2001 smelled like a soccer field, while Gran Turismo 2 smelled like car tires.
Car tires.
Yeah.
Wow. Can you imagine if it was the opposite? And those poor people had to smell what all those gaming
Right?
rooms smelled like.
Could you? That's the thing I was thinking of. I was like, the FIFA. Can you imagine if it just smelled like a big dirty sock or a jock strap?
Oh,
It was like after.
it just smells like dirt. That's all it is. What they did is they just put a little mud
They're
on
like,
the
"Oh."
disc. It doesn't
Hey,
last
buddy,
long.
lift your arm. We're gonna need a little bit of your armpit sweat on here.
That's pretty unique. Now
I
you just
never
download
knew.
games. You don't
Yeah.
even buy the game anymore.
Right.
You just download it.
Yep. That tells you how far along it was. But
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah,
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We're gonna go ahead and
cut
take
me
a.
off. Cut me off.
You got one more? Let's do one more.
You wanna do one more?
Hell yeah! I got nothing to do tomorrow.
Okay. This one I found a little bit confusing because, have you ever booked your travel through an online website?
Yes.
What's your favorite?
Honestly, I don't have a favorite. I
Do you use multiple?
I do.
Which ones do you use?
Well, there's Trivago,
Uh-huh.
right?
Okay.
And then hotels.com.
Right.
And I don't know. What one are you looking for?
Well, ironically, Expedia.com,
Oh, okay. That one too.
Hotels.com,
Oh, okay. That one.
Hotwire.com,
Yeah.
Trivago, Travelocity, and Orbitz are all owned by the same company of Expedia Inc.
Make people think they're getting choices.
Right.
But
They're
reality,
well, if you go to this website, you get a little bit more of a discount than that, but you're still paying the same damn person.
that's marketing
It's
for you.
genius, though.
Well, that's like half the shit you buy at Lowe's is private labeled one thing, and then they just throw some other stickers on it, painted a different color.
Well, I mean, not even Lowe's, but you can go and buy generic, and it's actually canned or processed in the same facility as the name brand stuff.
Yeah, it's wild.
Crazy.
Trivago. Well,
Crazy, I
very
tell ya.
interesting. All right. That's so bad. Man, I catch myself in the mid statement, and I'm like, man, you sound like a dick.
Just sometimes.
Oh, I apologize. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick pause for the cause. It allows Gibbler to empty her bladder and me to fill up our beers. And we will come back shortly in 2 to 4 minutes,
Yes.
depending upon her pee quantity, and we will do our news stories.
Sounds
So,
good.
See you then. Do, 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 do. Coming back to the After Two Beer Show. To the beer show.
To the beer show. To the beer show.
We need some entry music coming back. Da, 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 da.
After 2 beers.
Something.
Okay.
Anyway. All right. Welcome back to the After Two Beers podcast. I'm Dutch Dalton, joined as always by Kimmy Gibbler.
That's me.
And if you missed the first part of the show, you can go back and view that later. And if you get a chance, go to after2beers.com. That's the number 2. And you can find links to our past episodes. Again, a big thank you to our buddy Kevin Shook, who is graciously working with us on these podcasts in this amazing studio. We are in Studio E in the Oddfellows building. Is it Oddfellows?
Odd Studio, right?
Odd Studio.
It's the Oddfellows building.
It is the
Oddfellows building.
Correct.
Okay, right.
Yes.
There's a studio at the end of the hallway that's called Odd Studio.
The Odd Studio.
Oh, okay,
There you
gotcha.
go. Well, typically what we do now is we come back and we share some news stories.
Okay.
Are you excited?
I am.
Yeah. We talked about some of these at the beginning, and this first one to me is just a gold, just this is a good one.
Classic.
Oh, this is a good one. A Georgia TikToker user says two men, I almost said women.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Says 2 men discovered they were both fathers to a young girl when they came to pick her up from school where she works.
Okay.
Yeah. In a series of videos posted by Sheena _2200, who works in the front office, the men came in before dismissal earlier this month, each claiming the girl was their daughter and that they wanted to check her out for the day.
So did they both think that they were the father, or was one of them just a weirdo trying to...
Let's find
Kidnap.
out. Let's find out. Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun. This is why TikTok was created, for stories like this. And so this is what Sheena and Jackson said in the video. And so they both look at each other, and the dad was like, "Why are you checking my child out?" And the other guy was like, "Who are you? What do you mean? I'm her dad." And the other reportedly responded, and it got crazy. Jackson
Did
said,
they have to like break out a birth certificate or what?
Jackson said that both of the men were listed as emergency contacts for the girl and that their IDs had been checked. The principal of the school told Jackson to call the mother, and the Jackson said the mother started screaming and crying while the dads were going in. The men were separated as they waited for the mother to arrive. When she got to the school,
Lauren Povich showed
one
up
of
with the DNA test.
This is from Sheena. She says, when she got to the school, one of the daddies ran into the lot. Like, what's going on? What's going on? Why didn't you tell me? She recounted, and he goes, so we ran out in the parking lot with him, and he was about to hit her. He hit the mama.
Which one?
One
We
of the
don't know.
dads.
One of
Dad
them.
one.
Number one.
Jackson said that the mother said that she had been telling both men they were the father of the girl who was not present for the alleged incident. So she's
Was
been
she
lying.
collecting paycheck for both?
I don't know. It gets better. She said nobody ever knew anything. This was crazy. But at the end of the day, the police were there. One of the daddies got locked up. Mama went to EMS. Grandma had to come get the child because nobody could get the child at that point, she said. But it was a mess. It was a mess. And then Fox 28 said Jackson called the mother to follow up, who told her best friend was 2 men.
So she really did not know which one.
That's
That's what it sounds like.
Well, no, what it sounds like to me is
that her friend was being a...
her friend is,
An ass.
yes. Think about that. So, like, you got a buddy who's like, hey,
AJ is trying to hem me up.
what do you, this is just funny to me.
Oh my gosh.
She got sold out by her buddy.
Wow.
What a shitty thing for the kid, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, this all just sucks for the kid.
The social media videos have millions of views, and Jackson has 228,000 followers. Apparently, she posts.
It's all about the follows.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying she posts other stuff about the school. It may be a great school to watch.
Man, I might need to follow.
Yeah.
You gonna share that with me?
I don't know what we'll have to find it. All right, here's our second story. A Massachusetts woman is accused of unleashing a swarm of bees on sheriff's deputies who are trying to serve an eviction notice. The chaotic situation unfolded October 12th when Hampton County Sheriff's Department deputies serving the notice were met with protesters outside the home in Longmeadow, Mass. So we're in Massachusetts here. An official department report says 55-year-old Rory S. Woods, who lives in Hadley, arrived in an SUV towing a trailer carrying beehives. Do you think this is... I got so many questions.
So many questions.
First, does she always tow around bees?
Right. And does she like carry the queen bee up in the cab?
I just want to, I want to know if she's always just driving around with bees or this was her plan. Like she's like, they're coming to get me. And maybe this was like a Super Mario Brothers kart thing. Like she doesn't have like, I don't have turtles, but I've got bees. So this will
Screw
work.
those banana peels, but I got bees.
Right. Woods, who put on a beekeeper suit to protect herself, started shaking the hives and broke the cover off one, causing hundreds of bees to swarm out and initially sting one deputy, according to the report. She was using them as attack bees.
Oh my God.
She was using them as defense. Like you hear about like superheroes that can control rats. Like she's like, come to me, bees, and get this man.
That was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that is very false, okay?
Woods was eventually arrested, but not before several more sheriff's department employees were stung, including 3 who were allergic to the bees, the report said.
Oh, no.
When Woods was told that several officers were allergic to bees, she said, "Oh, you're allergic? Good." She's a cold-hearted.
Good night.
She's not a superhero. She's the evil genius. Good. My plan comes together. I didn't even want to live there anymore. She pleaded not guilty at arraignment on October 12th in Springfield District Court and was released without bail.
All to not get kicked out of your own place.
Oh, man. Now the bees are gone, too.
Jeez.
Oh, I wonder if they followed her home.
Only if she had the queen.
She's plotting in there, and like at the end of the first movie, because this is definitely a sequel.
Oh, it's a sequel.
Is like she's sitting there and like she asks for a biscuit in prison with some butter and some honey. And there's a note in the honey.
I think she has like superhero abilities because she got stung by the super
bee.
And now they just follow her.
That's what she is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like she just doesn't pay her rent. But she's
a broke bee.
Yeah. All right. All right. Here's our third and final story of the week. A Ohio coast. I can't even get it out without laughing. An Ohio cosplayer pleaded guilty Wednesday to planting a bomb at a perceived romantic rival's house in Maryland, which nearly killed the recipient and caused more than $45,000 in damage to the home.
Do what?
Yes. So
I'm confused.
Well, we'll get there.
Let's talk
we'll
us
get
through
there.
this.
Yeah. That's what alcohol will do to your judgment.
And apparently theirs as well.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what cosplay is, right?
Right, where you like dress up.
Yeah, like it's basic. Yeah, it has a funny name for it, but basically it's like trick or treat all year long, but for adults with no candy.
Okay.
And you go to like giant conventions with other people dressed up, so it justifies in your mind why it's okay.
Okay.
I mean, they can do it. Like Ohio Renaissance Festival.
Yeah.
Do you know people that are into that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Family members and such.
Do they dress up?
I don't know. I don't go. But yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, you really are dancing on some eggshells in here right now, aren't you? Man, you look like a ballerina dancing around them eggshells. No, so anyway, that's what this guy is doing. He's an Ohio cosplayer, which basically means he lives with his mom. Well, let me tell you the story here. Clayton Alexander McCoy, a 32-year-old registered sex offender, didn't see that coming, who lived with his mother, drove more than 350 miles on October 30th, 2020, in order to plant a package bomb on the victim's front porch, according to a federal criminal complaint. He took, this is my favorite part, is he's economical, though. He took a route avoiding tolls in his mom's Toyota pickup. He doesn't like to drive through those caves. It scares him. Yeah, because he's never seen a cave. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
The victim, identified in court documents as NK, suffered serious injuries. He and his girlfriend, identified as SB, were members of the, and I'm going to butcher this. What's that look like to you? Dagorhir?
Dagorhir.
Dagorhir. Dagorhir. Dagorhir.
Yeah, gaming community.
Gaming community, along with McCoy. The game is described. What's Nerf?
Like a Nerf sword. I don't know.
That's what. So this is literally like the Ohio Renaissance Festival.
It might be.
This is where people come together to find love, apparently, too.
Because.
Well, anyway, McCoy approached SB over Discord. Is that a dating site?
Discord? I have no idea.
Discord. And confessed his romantic feelings for her. She turned him down, reminding him she was dating NK. So McCoy built a homemade bomb, gift wrapped it, and dropped it off at NK's doorsteps, according to the U.S. Attorney Office for the District of Maryland.
The only thing that could make this better if that guy's last name was like Hatfield. Because it'd be like the Hatfield McCoys.
Yeah. He sounds like an adult Jokey Smurf. You remember Jokey Smurf? You know what? That's why kids nowadays grow all screwed up. We had terrorists. Like, that guy was a terrorist. Think about it.
Right. And we just like, oh,
and he was the good guy. Everybody was all mad at Gargamel, but this guy, he was a freaking terrorist. He built bombs that blew up in people's faces. And then we're shocked that we have the Unabomber. Anyway, so this guy, he researched how to build it, bought materials in cash from multiple stores to conceal his efforts, and ultimately built a package bomb that he placed inside a shipping box, which he drove to the victim's house himself, according to the prosecutors. This is where some people are so smart, but they're so stupid at the same time, right? And I'll tell you how he got caught.
Blink cameras.
Fucking A, man. Jeez. Everybody's got a camera on their front door now, man. You can't take a shit in your neighbor's yard without people flipping out.
You can't try to find your keys while trying to get in the house to take a shit without your camera finding it.
NK's grandfather found the box on his front porch, addressed to NK, and brought it inside. When the victim returned from work, he opened the box and found a smaller box inside. What's in the box? What's in the box? Wrapped in ribbon. He opened it and heard a whistling sound, and it exploded in front of him. Hold on, I'm getting there.
I'm like, what happened next?
Then what happened? On next week's episode, we will bring you the second half to Jokey Smurf, the adult. He opened it, blah, blah, blah. The victim was struck in the front of his body by shrapnel and sustained injuries to his chest, legs, and the front of his body. The U.S. Attorney Office said in a statement he was transported to the hospital where he was treated for injuries caused by shrapnel and explosion. Now, you can actually go find pictures of this story. The guy had built like they look like shark's teeth of metal inside of this thing. So when it exploded,
the shark's teeth went out.
Yeah, but they were made out of metal.
Ouch.
Just an ass. Anyway, it also rendered the house uninhabitable for 5 months, costing NK's grandparents' insurance company over $70,000.
5 months?
Yeah.
Holy crap. This is like a big time bomb.
Maybe.
Something.
Well, maybe they didn't live in a very nice house and it blew half of it off. I mean,
go ahead.
Anyway, in case, I don't know. I feel so judgmental about these people. I feel like an asshole. Oh, I can't help it. Encasement the next 18 days in the hospital, undergoing a series of surgeries to remove shrapnel and reconstruct his hand. He had to use a walker for another 2 weeks and still has bits of metal embedded in his body today, according to prosecutors. He is still rehabbing from his injuries.
But he's using the scars for his next costume.
Oh, man, this guy's going to get all the fucking pussy.
Save some for everybody else.
At the next, cosplay. There's this metal man. He's got a reconstructed hand.
He made his fingertips look a little bit mushroom shaped.
That's what the girlfriend asked for. Can you make his fingers longer?
Gosh.
Oh, man.
Oh,
This is
man.
the best show ever. Anyway, investigators recovered DNA evidence from the package and used cell phone data to trace McCoy's route to the victim's house on the day of the attack. A neighbor's Nest doorbell camera recorded a truck similar to McCoy pulling up around the time the bomb had been dropped off. McCoy faces up to 20 years in prison for transporting devices with the intent to injure and 10 years for possession of an unregistered explosive device at his sentencing.
How do you register one of those? I don't even know.
What do you get? Is there a form you fill
Hey,
out?
can I file a registration for this bomb I'm about to give to somebody? Of course
I'm
it's
about to-
unregistered. Jeez,
Get him one of the Jokey Smurf forms. He goes, you're going to get arrested, but this will save you 10 years.
Does it say Acme across the top? Wile E. Coyote.
McCoy in 2013 was convicted of pandering obscenity involving a minor and was sentenced to 4 years in prison and placed on Ohio's sex offender registry, according to court documents. So this guy's clearly a winner.
Yeah.
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 And he's into cosplay and live with his mom. Didn't see that coming.
Jeez.
All right, Gibbler. I think for the first week back after a month break, we did pretty good.
I think we did okay.
Yeah, we had our strong points and we had our weak points, but hey, we did better than Joe
You
Burrow
can't
did
cut
last
me
night. So
completely out.
that's right. So, you know what? We say it on the show, and it's I love doing the show because we have a good time and we have fun. But if we connect with anybody on this last part, it's probably the most important part to continue to do the show. And that is if you see someone that is struggling or looks like they're struggling, make sure you talk to them. Just give them a phone call, stop by their house, drop them an email, send them a text, whatever. Holidays are coming up. It's a tough time for a lot of people. And just keep that in the back of your mind as you're moving forward the next few months. Without further ado, Gibbler, I think we will talk to them all next time.
After 2 beers.